Hello, welcome back. In this session we are going to see how to fetch random records from a table. So if we have a big data set and we want to extract some records randomly, not based on any criteria, then how we can achieve that? Let's see. So let's take a table, sales table. I'm going to, because the sales table is the big table I have. So okay, so first let's go with the small table and then we'll come to the big table. Select star from EMP. So we have 14 records in the EMP table, and now what I'm going to do is select star from EMP and I'll write a order by class, order by, and we know the function rand, right? Limit 3. So if I run this statement, so I got 3 records. If I keep on execute this statement, you will see the records are changing. See, every time I'm getting some new records. So we know the rand function, we know what this limit is going to do. So limit will restrict the data number of output records to 3, and random function will generate a records randomly. So how this random function making this change? So to understand that better, so if I add this rand function here, so I'm adding the random function here. So now you see there is a random column and that is having all different numbers, and when I say order by using that rand function, automatically all the records will sort by that rand function. So rand function will generate different random numbers. Every time you will get some different numbers. So based on that it will order, and then it will truncate all the records after three records. So that the limit function does here. So to summarize this, so the rand function generates a random value for each row in the table, and then the order by class sorts all rows in the table by random number generated by the rand function, and the limit class pick the first 3 rows from the result set. So that's how this simple function bringing the random records. Okay, so this function, this statement will work in any database. This is very common, but there is a HANA way. Let's see how that possible. If I say this as a general method, and the below solution is HANA specific. So in HANA there is a function called table sample. So this function brings the data in randomly from the table. So let's see. So select, I'll simply go with the count star to understand it better. Select count star as count from EMP, and then we write the statement table sample. In the table sample we have 2 methods, system and Bernoulli. So first we will observe the system method, then we will observe the Bernoulli method. So the system method, here we need to provide the percentage like 50, 10, like the number range should be 1 to 100. So I'll go with the 50. Okay, count is a standard statement, so okay. EMP, okay. Then table. Okay, so that's how. Okay, so now we have select count star from EMP table with the table sample statement and the system method 50. So if I run, so sometimes I get 14, sometimes I get 0 records, right? So if you observe here, 14 0, 14 0 0, 14, something like that. So this is not giving the consistent results. So if I go with the another method in the table sample, which is called Bernoulli, so instead of system I will use, let's run and see if it is correct. Okay, so here the count is 5. So the total number of records in this table are 14. So the count we got is 5. And if I keep on executing, I am not getting 0 records anytime. At least on and average the record count is 7. So sometimes it is greater than 7, sometimes it is less than 7. Okay. Okay, so let me make this statement a little bit explanatory, self-explanatory. So this method is system, so I am adding the system. And the second method is Bernoulli. And I will add one more, the total number of records. And you will understand what I am doing. I just want to make it more intuitive. Okay, so if I run this statement, so now I'm unioning all these 3 statements. Okay, so the system statement gave 14, Bernoulli 4, total records are 4. If I run again, 9 14, 14 9 again, 0 8, 0 6. So if you see, the system is not consistent, but Bernoulli is consistent. Not 100%, but yeah, it is consistent, and total number of records are 14. So with this, I can say simply the system, the table sample with the system method is not suitable for small table, and Bernoulli is okay with the small table. But to make that statement concrete, let's use a big table. So I'm going to use, instead of EMP, I'm going to use sales table. I have 100,000 records in this sales table. Okay, now let's run. See, almost both are under 49,000. Total records are 100,000 and 50% is 49,000 something. See, so the consistency is there when I am using the biggest table. In the consistency exists in both system and Bernoulli methods. So based on this, I can say now, if it is a big table, you can use either method, the system or Bernoulli. If it is a small table, then go with the Bernoulli method. SAP says the system is higher performer than the Bernoulli. Let me explain what is the difference between Bernoulli and system methods. So system method divides the table into chunks of memory blocks. So for example, if it divides into 4 blocks or 5 records, something like that, so this is one block and this is another block. So it randomly brings the blocks of data. So if I have very few records, like 14 records in the EMP table, all 14 records may fall into one block. So most probably the approximate value for the block is 512. So when the table size is very small, and all the records will fall into one single block, so that single block may come or may not come. That's the reason when we run this statement on the EMP table, we are getting 0 records or 14 records, either case, not between those numbers, right? But on the other case where the Bernoulli method, it works based on the individual rows. So that's why when we use the Bernoulli method on the small table or big table, always we are getting approximately 50% of the records from the table. And if you, like in your case, if you want the consistent number, like always I need only 10 records, then go with the higher value. Like for example, you have 14 records and you want always 10 records, then go with the 100% and use the limit clause to control the number of records output, something like that. But Bernoulli is almost approximately consistent. Okay, I don't know whether that statement is correct or not, but yeah, so that's the difference. If you are extracting, again I'm consolidating what I said. If it is a big table, use table sample. If it is a small table, use Bernoulli. But Bernoulli will work in both small table as well as big table. If you want to experiment with the different record count set, you can try this. So this is already covered in my previous course. So I am creating a temp table and writing a very basic while loop. So this while loop will generate 1000 records into this table, and I am doing a select statement. So I got 1000 records. Okay, so if you want to experiment those methods on the different number of data sets, you can try that. So it's not very important to understand the deep concept of Bernoulli and the system method, but it is important to understand where and when we should use those methods. So that's all for this session. See you in the next session. Until then, happy learning. Bye.